Hey everyone, this is Rob.
And Michelle.
And welcome to Bunebape, your weekly podcast and everything you need to know about old school RuneScape. Alright, so this week up on the docket, we're going to be starting off with our own updates, of course, letting you know what's been going on with us this week. And then we'll be jumping right into the poll 78. So this is going to be the update for this week. Not really a lot from this update or really at all this week.
Yeah, actually.
Just not a ton happening, but we'll try to let you know what everything is happening with this week's update, and then we'll be going right into the Bounty Hunter Rewards blog.
Yeah, definitely the biggest thing this week, and it's not that big still.
Yeah, so it's definitely not that big. It's really just discussing some rewards over the Bounty Hunter update that we talked about last week. So that's probably going to be the most interesting thing, unfortunately. And then, of course, we have the highly coveted Jagex accounts information. So I'll be talking about that as well. And naturally, we'll be ending off with our Q&A.
Yep.
As per usual. But before we get into any of that, Michelle, how's it going?
It's going pretty well.
Yeah.
I made a little bit of money this week, so I'm excited about that.
Made a little bit of money.
Yeah. I got a purple in my name. I got Chaps, which I'm very happy about. It ended up being a 22.8 mil split, but it was my first purple in my name in 128 kills.
Nice.
So that's just, it's so nice.
So very
so
nice.
nice to get purple, but at the same time, also like, dang, now I can't say I'm dry anymore. Now I'm not due for a purple, you know?
Yeah.
It's always bittersweet. But low-key, I'd gotten so far that I'm almost due for another. So it's fine.
Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, no, it was cool. I did a lot of raiding this week. Last night, I even did like some chambers and Tempros for a few hours with the chat.
Yeah, probably because no one wants to do regular TOAs with the servers.
Nobody wanted to do TOA with me, yeah. I wanted to do 400s, and everyone was like, didn't want to do that high. So then I did chambers, and then no one wanted to do 400 still. So I was like, fine.
Oh, you didn't want to do lower at all?
No, I don't know. It was weird.
Michelle's an elitist.
Okay, the thing is, I want practice doing higher because I was doing lower all like this week. I don't know if I said this last week, but I've been doing a lot of raids with the chat. And it's just like usually like normal level, like 250s or so, which is fun and it's cool and I enjoy it. But at the same time, I need to make sure that I'm still challenging myself so I don't forget what to do in the higher levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do want to eventually get like the Akka Transmog and later, the Fang Transmog. So I need to practice still doing 400s. I did a few the other day and they went well. I got the purple in like a 250.
So you don't even want to try it solo?
I've tried solo off stream. I can't do it.
Oh.
I don't hit hard enough.
Okay.
And I can't live long enough.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think that's the problem.
It's a skill issue. I'll admit it. Whatever. But yeah. So in raids, I've been trying to practice staircasing, and it actually went like decently well the first few times I tried. But now I'm really overthinking and getting worse and worse. So that's kind of a bummer.
Nice.
But yeah. Also at Tempros last night, because we were at Tempros for a few hours, I got 92 fishing.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm
That's
halfway to 99. And I want to maybe try and get like one skill up a week because there's no way I'm going to max at this rate.
I mean, you've said that before.
I say that
and then
every
you just
week. Hey, but look, I got one.
You're like, oh, I'm just going to do this every day. And then you do it for like 5 days and you're like, all right, well, I've just been raiding.
Never again.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I mean, people haven't been wanting to do higher level raids as much. Or, I mean, usually people who are there haven't been showing up on the days I want to do higher level. It feels like they show up on the days I want to do lower level. So it's just bad timing on all of our parts, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully tonight I could actually do some raids. I would like to do higher, but I'll do lower level if I need to. Just because I want to keep at it and make sure that my skill level stays the same. Because Alka's going to be hard.
Yeah, sure.
You still haven't tried a raid. I need him to try a raid so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
You don't even know how to get the Akka Transmog, bro.
I don't even know how to get to the raid, dude.
You don't even know.
I don't even know what the raid. What's the name of the raid?
You don't even know the Akka invos.
I don't even know the Akka invos. It's crazy.
Exactly. It's just
so crazy.
It's just so crazy. Other than that, though, I've been playing Subnautica. I've actually been like playing RuneScape most of my streams, then playing Subnautica at the end, and that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's like it for gaming this week. We actually went out of town this weekend. We went to Arizona to visit my grandma.
Yeah, it was unfortunate.
Quick rundown of that. Not a fan of Arizona.
Yeah, shout out to everyone that lives in Arizona by choice.
To be fair, we were in definitely a very retired heavy community. A lot of older people.
Yeah, so
Who-
no one lived there, and if anyone did, they were old.
They were old. It was kind of funny. Kind of messed up in the grocery store. We went to go buy groceries, and we went with my sister, who's a year younger than me, and she accidentally like scared this dude, and I didn't realize what happened because he just stared at her for 2 seconds and went, "Huh." It was like the most delayed reaction. I didn't realize that. I thought he was just like making a noise at someone else, but I guess that she'd scared him, and that was his reaction. It was weird. It kind of felt like an hallucination a week.
That was a really good story.
But yeah, the only like it was cool hanging out with my grandma for sure. But the only cool thing that we did that was very Arizona, we went like kind of off roading a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of
But
cool.
we went with my uncle and he was telling us about a serial killer who used to be out there, and I was like, cool, I feel safe.
Yeah, so anyone that lives in Arizona, I'm sorry,
so
but
brave.
someone's got to take the L, I guess.
So, someone's got to do it.
But
How
yeah,
have you
it was okay.
been?
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, I haven't played any games this week actually. I guess a big highlight is I'm making bread, so that's kind of cool.
I do love bread.
Yeah, so that was going pretty well. If anyone wants a recipe, don't shout out me, even though I do make pretty good bread. Yeah, that'd be cool to make some like bread recipes. I actually thought about it. It'd be kind of cool to make some YouTube videos on like food recipes from RuneScape,
That would be fun.
but also it's just like normal stuff.
Well, yeah, but you can make it vegan.
Well, yeah, but I mean, a lot of the stuff.
I mean,
guess
people
that-
would still like it.
I guess that'd be okay, but yeah, it'd just be like, oh, today we're making bread.
Yeah.
Or it's like other things are, I mean, obviously we wouldn't make them, but it'd be like, oh, we're making cooked meat. Or
No, you could do that, but make it vegan and make it kind of like try to like shape it like the meat and stuff.
Absolutely not.
Make
But
Satan like that.
I think it'd be cooler. It's cooler in other games where they have like these like, weird high fantasy dishes, but this is
Well,
like
they have some weird stuff like the gnome area, the toad crunchies and things like that.
yeah, like that stuff is high fantasy, but like the majority of things in RuneScape are pretty low fantasy.
That's
So
why
it's
I'm
just like
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to make it look like it.
it's
'Cause
just like karambwans.
I mean, yeah. What would you use for crumb ones?
Nothing. I probably wouldn't make
No,
karambwans.
you would make something unique to look like crumb ones.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like I've seen people make the cake, like a real life cake that looks like it. It's just
Well,
like,
yeah.
so delicious.
But then what do I just be making cake?
Yes, Robert.
No, that's
What's wrong with
awful.
that?
Cake sucks.
People like cooking.
No. Well, not me. I like baking, which is not the same thing.
Okay, well, people like baking. I've heard of people making, maybe not videos, but like doing on stream, like making the drinks that they have at Gnome Stronghold.
Yeah, Gnome Stronghold. Yeah, because they have all those really interesting drinks. Like
Mhm.
like I said, all the gnome stuff would be cool because that's high fantasy, and then you could just like kind of make whatever, and then just make it similar to what it looks
Like
like.
for Toad Crunchies, somehow make it veggies.
Yeah, but then it'd be kind of lame if you're just like, oh, here's like
A scrimp.
here's like a piece of bread, or just like stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
like, all right, or like here's a muffin. It's like, okay, here's a potato with butter on it. It's like, all right, that's a little less interesting than like Toad Crunchies
Maybe
or
you dress
something
as
like
like
that.
the wise old man every time or something to keep people entertained.
Yeah, now I want to do it less, but yeah. So I haven't really been playing any games. I've just been
No rock and stone.
baking. I think I played like a couple hours of Deep Rock, which is cool. Shout out to all the dwarves. Yeah, not too much though. Just living my real life. Unfortunate.
Yep.
But yeah, that I think is going to wrap it up for the updates. I don't have anything else, but
And that's the game updates too.
yeah, that's the game
That's
updates.
everything.
Pretty boring life this week. Yeah, not too much going on. But either way, we could take a look at the updates for this week. The last of Poll 78, so that is the name of this week's blog, came out on March 15th. And it really, just like the title of the name says, only has a few things in it, and it's mainly all from Poll 78.
You know, it does make me excited though, because I wonder now if the Pulse 79 quality of life thing will be active soon.
Yeah,
It's been about 6 weeks.
it will be. What's his name? Mod Goblin actually said in the subreddit that it'll likely be ready to go in a few days.
Perfect.
So they already have a bunch of the questions and stuff like that already, but he has to get it.
Get the blog ready.
Yeah, he has to get it ready, and then he has to get it QA'd, has to go through quality and stuff like that. And then he says it's going to be out, so it'll probably be a few days before it's actually out
Can
again.
we do a fingers crossed this out tomorrow so it could still be in this episode?
No, certainly won't be.
Dang it.
Yeah, I think someone asked him if it would be out in time for
This
for
week.
for this week, but I think he is more planning on it being out this weekend or early next week.
Sag.
Yeah,
So next week at least.
yeah,
Oh yeah, they do say that they're finalizing for next week.
yeah, they even say in the update, yeah. But he did clarify that in the subreddit. So
Nice. Okay.
yeah, either way though. So for the last of the improvements you voted for in poll 78 are going to be live this week. There's literally only 3. So
No, there's a couple more.
oh,
They
there
only
is?
list 3, but the next paragraph is a 4th.
Really?
There's a whopping like 4 things.
Oh, that's pretty
That's a
huge,
4th.
I guess.
I don't understand sometimes their blog posts. They put some stuff under bullets, which makes it seem like there's 3, but then they have a paragraph and they're like, this is another one. Like this could have been a bullet point.
So yeah, I guess the 4th one is technically part of it, but it really will not affect literally anyone ever
I'm
anywhere.
excited for the 4th one the most.
You're excited for the 4th one the most.
Probably.
So before we get to the first one, the
read
4th
them all.
one, the 4th one
Read them
says,
all. Why are you doing this to me?
while we're on the
Oh my
subject
God.
of mining, we've also renamed mining nodes throughout the game to indicate which ore they contain.
I like that.
For anyone that was excited about the rest of the changes, this is apparently the one that is the most exciting to Michelle.
Because the next ones are all MLM. I don't go to MLM.
Okay. Well, for anyone else that plays the game, that will likely go to MLM.
Oh my God.
They have 3 more changes. So this is actually pretty big changes. And originally they didn't have the increased respawn chance %, but Mod Goblin went in here and changed it, luckily, so we have an exact %. So they've launched a bunch of improvements to the Mudload mine. The first one being they've adjusted the respawn rates of veins, not in just the lower level, but also the upper level, which is pretty nice. They should now respawn 33% faster, so 1/3 faster than previously, which is a really, really big improvement. They added more veins to the southern area of the mine. I haven't checked out where, but I think it is just south of where the actual little water wheels are.
That's good. There's a lot of empty space in there. So
Yeah, so I think they added a few more down in the southern area, obviously, but I think mostly through there. I wish they also would have added it other places. I don't know where else, but I wish they would have added
we
it in
didn't
other
even
places.
look. There could be more.
Yeah.
We haven't checked. That's just what you read online, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, it says specifically in the southern area, but
Never mind.
yeah, I wish they would have just added more.
Well,
throughout.
southern, I thought they meant like the lower. Oh, yeah, no, they would say lower. Never mind.
No, specifically the southern area. But also on top of that, which is nice, is usually people couldn't really get to the northern part of the mine or to the southern part of the mine without going all the way around. They have added a shortcut, an agility shortcut.
That's
You're going
nice.
to have 54 agility, and it's going to take you between the bank and the southern part of the mine. So it's actually pretty convenient.
Cool.
Because usually you'd have to run all the way around the water area, around some rocks, mine like 3 sets of rocks, and then you'd be at your area, which is not super tedious, but can be after a while. So it's nice that they added that.
Nice.
Like I said, they all are also
Biggest improvement. No prospecting.
removing prospecting. So rest in peace. Prospecting has been in the game
You
since
will not be missed.
the game came out, but now no one is ever gonna have to do that again.
Yay.
Yeah, so they actually just removed it entirely. Now, whenever you hover over a rock, it should say exactly what type of rock that is. So I think the only time this will actually really ever be helpful is if you're looking for clay or if you're looking for silver.
Can I tell you the situation I'm thinking of?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that this happened to me during Hanani's charity stream, that you only had an hour to level up really fast in her charity stream.
Sure.
Yeah, so I was trying to find a specific ore, and all the ore was depleted, and I couldn't even check to prospect it because they're all depleted. And that's like one of the 3 clips I'm in. It's just me saying like, where the F can I find this certain kind of ore? So you know what? I'm happy about this.
Okay.
You don't understand what I've just been through and what I'm going through, and it's all better now.
Wow.
The end.
Yeah, so you'll be one of the people that they say will not spend more hours right-clicking and identifying.
Hours upon hours, man.
Accordingly, the tutorial island dialogue will also no longer refer to prospecting.
Pretend it never existed.
Poll enthusiasts will be happy to hear that we're finalizing the questions for Poll 79 this week.
Yep.
While you wait, we can tell you that Poll 79 will include a question about reworking combat achievements as a point-based system. giving you the freedom to mix and match your achievements instead of having to complete every tier. It's exciting stuff, so keep an eye out for the blog.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I think that's really good. But it's funny because I thought it was really good, and then I am now like kind of conflicted.
Oh, why?
Because I've always been of the mind where I think it's really, really dumb if there are achievements that require other people.
Group content.
Because you could be the best player in the game, literally, just like head and shoulders above. But if you just don't have the social, aptitude to go find other good players.
Yeah, it's easy for us because we're part of like a community. If you're just like a random person who doesn't talk to anyone, like that sucks.
I mean, we're part of a community, but real talk, I don't like playing with other people.
Yeah.
I will do anything to not play with other people in almost every instance.
Yeah.
And so just because of that, you have to find other players. And not only do you have to find other players, but you have to find 7 other players.
Yeah, there's some that are TOA 8-man.
Which is insane. Mm-hmm. That is not just a small amount of players. That is like almost a entire raid.
And everyone
worth
in the
of players.
raid has to be perfect.
That's like a World of Warcraft raid worth of players.
Ugh.
That you have to like find on the street that are actually good.
Also, I think it's 8. I'm not 100%, but I know that there's
7
several.
And then you.
Yeah. Okay. No, I know that there's 8 total. I just wasn't sure for the combat achievement if it has to be 8.
I think it has to be.
Ew, God.
Yeah, but
that one, I hate that one because it's like not only does it yourself to be there, you have to befriend 7 people whose skill is also there.
Yeah, you have to find 7 other desperate souls for you to help do this combat achievement.
Yeah, that's rough. So I'm glad that stuff like that. But what were you thinking that changed your mind?
Oh, so I was thinking that obviously this point-based system would be cool because then you wouldn't have to do that. That's not the case because they asked in the subreddit, they asked if you would have to do all of them to get the Grandmaster, and you will have to do all of them to get the Grandmaster.
What?
Yeah, so if you want to get the Zuck helm, then you'll have to do every achievement.
But it's just going to keep adding more achievements later on.
I mean,
It's going to get harder and harder.
So the point-based system seems like it'll be valuable for everything that's not Grandmaster.
That's really annoying.
Like Grandmaster, I guess, is supposed to be a flex that you've done everything.
Oh my God. That just sucks because like some people had it not easy by any means, but easier if they got it immediately. I mean, they do have to keep doing it to keep it, but they got that screenshot.
They only have to do it to keep it if they want to keep
if they want to wear it.
If they want to keep the effects of Gommel's hilt.
Mm-hmm.
So they technically don't.
I don't think you can wear your helm if you have to redo it.
I wonder. I don't know. I know for certain the Gommel's hilt doesn't work, but I don't see why the helm wouldn't because it's just a Slayer helm.
I'm interested in where this is going to go with feedback.
Yeah,
I feel like that might change.
If we have any random Zuck helm wearers, let us know if you can use it without completing the new ones.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't wear it, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, I thought that was really lame because that kind of defeats the purpose. Because like before, it's like, oh, I can skip these because
that was like the number one thing that you said too was no group content. How good that'd be.
Yeah, because it's this is a solo player game. The reason that this game is still popular years and years later is because you don't have to play with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like the reason that other games die is because it requires you to do content with other people. Like other games have like world v world, like 100 v 100, which is like something cool that RuneScape doesn't have, but no one does it in those games, which means those games die.
Yes.
But this game you can play entirely solo. That's why like Chambers is still so popular because you can do it by yourself.
People do love their solo content.
Yeah, and TOA. That's why TOB is like one of the least popular raids because you can't really solo it unless you're an absolute fiend.
Yeah. An absolute fiend.
Yeah. In a good way.
Yes.
But yeah, I thought that was kind of lame.
I hope that the feedback makes them change their mind.
I
can't imagine a lot of people will be happy about that.
I mean, it's already taken them like so many months to do this, even though they said they would do it so long ago. So I doubt they'll like stay on it and like actually change things about it.
I hope so, though.
But yeah, maybe.
Yeah, anyway, moving on to the group Ironman fixes. So group Ironman storage will now be locked 10 minutes before a game update reboot, minimizing the chance that transactions are prematurely canceled and items lost. The Ironman tutor will now pay attention if you previously indicated you never wanted to downgrade while informing you about Iron Mode. He's also got more information to share about unranked group Ironman. And
someone did ask also in the comments, they're asking if this means that you won't be able to downgrade to a GIM. So you will be able to do that. but this just removes the dialogue for and
So just more select an option.
yeah, so this just removes the dialogue if you've already talked about downgrading and stuff like that. So you still will be able to downgrade to an unranked group Ironman if you want. It just will remove the other dialogues if you've already been through it.
Cool. Okay.
So yeah, it's not removing any like actual options.
Yes. Group sizes for ranked GIM now correctly reflect the largest group players have been a part of. A few GIM combat achievements were erroneously being counted towards the total number in the interface. This was a purely visual bug, but has now been fixed.
Yeah.
And that is it for the group iron. Huge changes this week.
Yeah, massive changes.
Yeah. I mean, too much, possibly. We might have to do a part 2 of this episode.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
Yeah, also on top of that, we have a few changes for the wilderness and PvP related changes. So after considering player feedback, we've made environmental changes to the outside area of Venenatus's lair to prevent abuse of the nearby single way combat zones. No way people were abusing things.
What?
Who
In the
would've thought?
wilderness?
In the wildy.
Absolutely no way.
Whoa.
Can't believe you've done this.
The entrance to the lair now faces west instead of south, so it won't be so easy to run into
That's pretty
singles.
funny.
They added trees immediately behind the entrance to prevent ranged and mage attacks from the single way combat area. Because, people were just like sitting in there and also participating in combat, which is funny.
I love it.
Wilderness monsters on the permanent Dead Man world now have a chance to drop an imbue scroll along with their other loot, providing an alternative means to imbue items on this world. This means that there's a higher chance for higher level monsters.
Nice.
And lastly, target worlds no longer have misleading messages about the non-existence of DJ timers.
Moving on to the 12th annual Golden Gnomes. So voting for the 12th annual Golden Gnomes has now closed, but you can tune in on March 24th to find out who will be taking home a coveted Golden Gnome trophy.
Yes.
I didn't vote because I couldn't decide between people, to be honest.
Yeah, rest in
I
peace.
didn't want to choose between people.
Also, for anyone wondering about the regular stream awards,
Bodhi did not win.
Bodhi did not win.
RuneScape didn't win. We've been scammed.
RuneScape did not win. It was just a streamer that was several times larger, unfortunately.
No, I was really rooting for him. I think I actually voted in that one.
Yeah. Either way, he did not win. Maybe next year. Who
Yeah.
knows?
But the Golden Gnomes will be streaming from the Jagex HQ, another studio stream. The event kicks off at 17, I'm assuming GMT, on the Jagex Twitch channel. We look forward to seeing you there.
Yep, which will be very, very late or early, depending on where you are for
5
United
p.m.
States residents.
That is going to be early for me.
Yeah.
It's going to be 9 a.m.
As far as other changes go, the birthday event has been removed. Sad.
Sad. If you didn't get your slippers, you're a fool, Robert.
Yeah. They say time to start planning the 11th birthday event.
Yay.
Win! Yeah, exactly. A new option has been added to the controls section of the settings menu, allowing you to toggle trade options shown on other players. So if you just don't ever want to trade, if you're an Iron Man, for example, you can turn that off. The poison venom timer will now only reset after 54 seconds of being out of combat, up from 18. Holy, that's a huge.
Massive.
This should help with poison dynamite to function until a more definitive fix is implemented. Oh, so it's just a band-aid.
Naturally.
We learned that the pathfinding changes to bankers from last week's updates are not behaving as intended. I wonder.
This was you trying to click a banker and you'd run to a wall.
Oh, that's so weird. Consequently, we reverted the changes until we can review this feature. That's so funny.
So you're running into walls again.
You'd figure that would be easier to work on.
Yeah. This change does remain in place for Herman Caranos, though.
Herman Caranos.
Caranos.
Of course. I hate that guy.
Is. Oh, yeah.
Also, Varrock Armor Smelting Boost now works with perfect gold ore if
Definitely
you're still doing that quest.
Looked at it and thought it said smelling boost.
Yeah,
You just
smelling
get
boost.
extra good smelling things when you wear it. It's kind of weird.
They also made that loot and instance KBD layers now last longer, similar to other instance bosses. Fixed a few typos with the ecumenical key. Removed in extraneous quote marks that appear in the prayer's mouse over text. They did add a bunch of random quote marks. People were kind of like weirded out by that.
Be like, do you not mean it?
Yeah.
They're like overheads.
Over. Yeah. Now you also get full experience from cutting teaks and hogs on, etc. And lastly,
Wait, how is that something that just got fixed?
yeah, I don't know.
That's weird.
Well, to be fair, I don't think anyone actually does that because
Apparently
there's no
people
bank
did.
there, or
There is in etc.
not close, or at least I don't think it's close.
It's in etc. Not miscellanea.
Oh,
We actually talked about this the other day on stream. I was looking for in miscellanea.
that's cool. Chat messages. Lastly, chat messages from a player mod or JMod will now be able to be right-clicked, so you can learn more information about what the crown means, and also the link to the webpage. So
Oh, cool.
I don't know who doesn't know what a PMod or JMod are, but
I didn't know for a very long time.
okay. Well, now you can right-click and check it out with greater detail.
I will not.
Also, they have one more clue for Crack the Clue. Crazy how people
Please,
still are
someone
working on
solve
this. It's been
this.
like hundreds of years at this point.
Basically.
It's funny because I feel like the reward's just going to be like a pat on the back.
No, it's just a fashion skip. We already know what it looks like.
Oh, that sucks. All right. Well, unfortunate for you. Either way, you can check that out. Also, there's Max Med loadout for ranked duels. And lastly, at the very, very bottom of the blog
post.
we have a little bit of information about this upcoming Twitch thing, which I think is actually kind of a cool event. So they wanted to say that they wanted to take a brief moment to highlight an upcoming event that might interest some of you, which is actually pretty cool because they never really do stuff like this.
I like this. And it's something that I hadn't heard of, at least.
Yeah, they really take their time and drag their feet, or just don't highlight community events, but this time around they have, which is cool.
Yeah, hopefully this means that they'll stay doing this.
Yeah, so we have on March 19th at 1400 GMT, so it'll actually just be in the morning for regular U.S. folk.
For regular people, aka people in the West Coast.
Yeah, you might want to tune in to Hemi's stream over on Twitch. Check out the Tazar World series.
Ooh.
So over the course of the past month, talented PVMers have been submitting speedruns for a number of Inferno categories, whether it be standard, melee, or no pillar, and the fight caves to see which... I'm not even going
to... it's their word for players.
Yell it. Have it. That's such a weird word.
This really threw you off your groove here.
I don't know how I'd begin to pronounce Jalyt.
It's the thing that the citizens there call players.
Yeah, sure. We'll just call it Yell it. So
Yikes.
We'll see what they have. We'll see if they have what it takes to really impress the Tazar. If you have already got an Inferno cape of your own and are looking to take your runs to the next level, you can always check out the detailed Inferno speedrun guide. There are bound to be some fantastically skilled players on display. If PVM is your thing and you need a speed...
You have a need for speed.
That as well. Tune in this Sunday.
If you need for speed.
Well, I need for speed, so...
Yeah, I know you have a need for speed.
Yeah, exactly. Either way, if you just want to check out these speedrunners, speedrun the Inferno, then... check them out.
Sounds like people doing a lot of unique different methods, which will be fun.
Yeah, there's going to be different categories. So if you're interested in even a particular style of speedrun, then maybe you can get some tips, pointers, or just check out some high-level PVM if you have some free time on Sunday.
That's cool. I love that they said that, actually.
Yeah, so I do think that's pretty cool as well. Also, shout out to everyone that is speedrunning Inferno.
Yeah, you guys are monsters.
Yeah, kind of
in
insane.
a good way.
Yeah. Kind of insane, but hopefully
beautiful little monsters.
Everyone has fun.
Yes.
Yeah, so shout out to those people. That's going to be about it for the Poll 78 blog. This is the last one, hopefully and thankfully. And we are back. It is Thursday, the next day.
The first half was not very long this week.
Yeah,
Whoops.
not very long. But luckily, we actually have some more updates for you, or at least I think Michelle does.
Mm-hmm. Last night I actually ended up not streaming. I was just feeling very untalkative and stuff. But...
Well, you're feeling sick.
I was kind of feeling sick. I randomly almost had this is irrelevant, but I almost had like a fever, but now I feel fine. So I'm wondering if I just like overheated myself. But anyway, I don't know what happened, but I feel better today. And I got 91 cooking.
Nice. Easy.
I was just doing all the random raw fish that I had in my bank because I don't want to spend any gold right now.
That's kind of one of those skills where I'm like, how are you not 99?
You're not 99 either.
Yeah, I don't play the game that much. Or that account ever.
You weren't 99 either.
Okay. Well, all right.
Whenever I was doing it last night, though, I was also wondering, like, dang, why don't I just get 99 in this?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't do the tick fast thing, though. I just AFK'd it. Like, sometimes I wouldn't be cooking for, like, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I just wouldn't be paying attention.
I think if you...
I was looking like 200,000 an hour.
I think if you one-ticked it, it'd only take you, like, a day to get it, but... I
mean, I don't have the patience for that.
Yeah, obviously, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, maybe I'll do a little bit more. I just don't want to spend gold right now.
Well, you actually make money cooking crumbles.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, usually I keep them. I guess I could sell them.
Yeah, usually you make money.
What about
cooking
sharks? Because I was doing sharks last night.
I think you lose money on sharks.
Ugh. All right, I'll look more into this. But yeah, cooking is a nice thing. You can make it AFK and you'll still get decent XP per hour. Like actually AFK. You could wait a minute in between them all.
Yeah.
But
Also, more importantly, before I forget, you actually not only do you lose money on sharks, but you can't one tick them. So that's kind of the main thing.
I was trying to tick them, and I was like, I just don't remember how to do it. Okay,
No.
that makes more sense. You just can't.
Yeah, you can. You one tick crumb ones for a reason.
Yeah, I didn't have any raw crumb ones, and I happened to have like 1,000 sharks. So,
Oh, okay.
And I did that in like some manta rays and sea turtles.
Nice.
It's kind of messed up that we just cook turtles. I
No.
mean, we cook all of
Yeah,
it. So.
like you cook all of it. It's not that messed up.
Yeah, who am I morally to decide turtles are worse than the rest?
Yeah.
Anyway, you didn't do anything listening?
No, I did not actually.
In Subnautica, I made a big submarine.
Nice. I played Path of Exile for 7 minutes.
Was it the best 7 minutes of your
It
life?
was crazy. It was the best
Life-changing?
ever. Yeah, I can never go back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw his soul leave his body.
Yeah.
But then it came back after 7 minutes.
No, it's still gone.
Oh, you're soulless.
Yep, but
Cool.
moving on, we have some actually interesting stuff. So they released the poll results for the Ruinous Powers. This is the prayer book for anyone that doesn't remember.
Mhm.
This is what's going to be coming from the Desert Treasure 2 quest, and luckily, everything passed.
Spoiler alert. God.
Yeah, literally everything passed, which is very, very surprising because,
I didn't think everything would pass.
yeah, a lot of people
I forgot to vote.
have not been agreeing on a lot of the prayer stuff, which is why it's kind of surprising that everything passed. And also,
Again,
they,
just Reddit's such an echo chamber. It seems like everyone's not agreeing, but
yeah,
it passed.
Yeah, so for everyone wondering, actually not that many votes on this poll, which is really surprising. Only 40,000, considering like the last few have had 90,000 plus.
47, closer to 50.
Yeah, I
But
guess
still
so.
like half as much.
Yeah. Either way, for question 1, they did ask actually whether people would want the original proposed absorb and dampen prayers. These are going to be the overhead protection prayers. Or would you want the alternative approach? And actually, the alternative approach won with 59%.
Didn't win by too much.
It won. I think it won by a good enough margin that I don't feel bad about it. And then question 2 is if the alternative approach wins, which it did, which protection prayer would you prefer? Either the deflect prayer or the withstand prayer. And for anyone that is wondering, the withstand prayer is actually the one that I kind of liked more, but
well, that's too damn bad. You should have voted.
Yeah, that one gave 100% protection, but it reduced your defenses by 33. So if you got caught off guard, then it meant more of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one, which was the deflect prayer, which
I love how dismissive you sound. The other one.
well, it is the other
one
one.
I hate.
No, it's called the deflect prayer, and this is a lot like a recoil, but it gave you 90% damage reduction, so 90%
protection.
Yeah, 90% protection, but you also deal damage back to the attacker.
Yeah, it's the recoil prayer.
So yeah, it's like a recoil overhead.
I
So
mean,
it's kind of
I'm
cool.
fine with either one, so
But
it's cool.
so that is the one that won. Actually, it won by a very large margin at 71%. I personally just am really not a fan of tick damage, like chip damage. It just is really like monotonous because there's already like bosses that do that, and I hate those bosses too. So I don't know. Obviously, you'd be doing a lot more damage, so there's obviously a trade-off, which I think is worth it in the end for pretty much everyone. Like if you are trying to do the content as fast or as good as possible, then you're probably just going to take that prayer book because you're going to be doing way more damage. So, yeah, it makes sense that this has a 90% trade-off.
Oh, before we move on, sorry to cut you off. I just don't want to forget. I had a random, also personal update thing that I thought was so funny. I had an interview today for food stamps, and the person I was talking to saw I was on Twitch, and they're like, "Oh, like what do you do on Twitch?" And I told them I play OSRS, and they play it too.
Huge.
So I made a friend, and we were talking about RuneScape for a little bit. It's funny because they record your conversation for like human resource reasons, and it's just us talking about RuneScape. And I was like, "Yeah, you could come raid with us."
Yeah, I mean,
I made a friend.
No one ever actually listens to those things, though.
If they do, they're gonna be like these nerds.
Yeah, they probably just will have no idea what you're talking about.
No, they'll be like, "I play too. I want to raid."
Either way, though, so for anyone wondering, I don't think we're going to go through every single question that passed, but
yeah, they all passed.
just so you know, every single one passed. So you will be getting the all of the prayers in the book that we went over previously. For anyone that still doesn't know, it's essentially like your book, or the original book rather, with more damage and less protections.
These are Are these going to confirm beta, or these are just being? Oh no, they're just going to be in the beta, so it might not even be a thing later for
Yeah,
sure.
so this isn't obviously 100%. It's
Yeah.
not fleshed out or anything like that. So if it gets into beta and it doesn't work or it sucks, then it could change even further. But
Mm-hmm.
all of the concepts for the prayer book are going to be as they are now.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah, so pretty cool. I'm actually really, really excited to see some of the vow prayers.
I'm
What?
actually really, really sad that they got rid of the scaling prayers.
Yeah, me too. Still really sad about that.
Yeah.
Also, it's funny because this kind of reminds me, and I figured I'll bring it up anyways because it seems to be like something I see a lot in the subreddit recently, and that's gonna be the way that Jagex implemented the the lantern in Guardians of the Rift
How do they implement it?
because it passed on the poll with 90% saying that it would be a purchasable reward.
Oh, it did?
Yeah,
It's not.
no, it's not.
I
For
went a
anyone that
little
doesn't
dry on
know.
it actually.
It's actually like a 1 out of 4 or 500 drop. It's a
Yeah.
really low drop.
I didn't get to like 700.
Yeah. So a lot of people are saying
Ah.
that because like obviously it is really, really good for only one thing, which is Guardians of the Rift. And the fact
It
that
is really good there though.
the fact that you don't get it for a very long time, like very, very long
I got
time.
it literally the same draw that I'd finished my outfit.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, what do I do now? Like, do I keep playing?
Yeah, like it will
That's how long it took me.
almost guaranteed take you many hundreds of games before you
Mhm.
can get it.
Yeah, they should have made purchasable because then people would buy it before their outfits too,
Yeah.
and they could have kept people there longer.
Yeah. So I got it
Hmm.
early, which was really, really lucky.
Yeah, you got super lucky.
But yeah, people were like, presenting all the math and stuff like that, saying how if you are wanting to get the abyssal needle, which
Which
obviously
I also went dry on
Yeah,
a little
which
bit.
also obviously it for anyone that doesn't know, it does increase your pouch size to be 40, I think it is, which is
Mhm.
really, really big.
Colossal.
Yeah, massive. And it's all in one pouch, which is pretty insane.
It's really nice.
So that on top of the drop chance, which I think is a really low drop chance as well. It's like 1 out of 2 or 300, something
The
like
needle thing's 1 at 300.
Yeah, it's a pretty low chance. So that in combination with the abyssal lantern guarantees that it'll take you, many hundreds, way past the time you would actually need or want to get these items before you actually get them.
It's funny because I do understand why they should be unique drops because they're so good, but at the same time, like, yeah, by the time you get them, you don't really want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's maybe should have just been. I mean, it either should have been something that you could buy or something like the lantern that you could use everywhere. I mean, maybe you can use the lantern in some situations, but it's not as good if I remember correctly. Because like it gives you extra points and stuff,
It gives you extra points and stuff like that.
and it
but
keeps your pouch from degrading.
Yeah, that's the main thing is it keeps
Well,
your
it depends
pouch.
on the kind of wood you have, to be fair, but that's the best one.
But yeah, I think you can get that fairly early on, I think. Well, I know for certain I've only ever used the very last one, which is the
Redwood.
redwood logs, which gives you everything.
Yeah, I
essentially.
got my fire making or wood cutting up to use that, I remember.
Yeah. But it's so good, and yeah, I think it only is actually useful at the Guardians of the Rift. So it makes you wonder, like, why did they make it such a rare drop? It's not like you can get it and then be like, all right, cool, now I can finally go over to do Bloods with this. Like,
Yeah,
that's not gonna happen.
it is really weird. I didn't know. Did you see like they originally pulled it to be Bible?
Yeah,
That's weird. I feel like if they were gonna do it and not follow through with the vote, just don't do a vote on it.
Yeah.
It's awkward then.
that's kind of what the conversation has led into.
It's kind of like the skilling thing, and it's like if you guys don't think you could have done good skills for this prayer book, you shouldn't have asked.
Yeah, that's exactly why I brought it up because one, I'm seeing a lot of like people talking about like why this is because this is even something that I remember bringing up when it first came out, like why this wasn't something that you could buy because it's going to take forever to get it,
Yeah.
and it does. It just straight up does take. And now since Guardians of the Rift has been out for a while, now everyone knows that this takes forever to get.
It's so good though. They should have made that the needle drop rate, like 1 out of 300.
Yeah, I mean they should have just made both of them lower. I don't know why they have such a high drop or such
Because
a low drop chance.
they are really good, so I get it, but at the same time, they're useful there. Why is it so hard to get there?
Yeah, exactly. That'd be the same thing as if, like, I don't know, for example,
Or like the spirit anglers or something.
no, at Temperos, if you wanted to get the chest or the barrel chest and like the fishing bait, it's not nearly as low of a chance. And those you can use everywhere.
Did you know that I still haven't gotten those?
No, I
I'm
didn't.
going very dry.
I got those the first day.
I know you did.
In
I
a-
went
in
and did
100
Tempros
KC.
for 3 hours the other day, and I was hoping I'd get one, and I didn't.
Well, yeah, that's unlucky.
I'm almost double the drop rate, I think.
Yeah.
On both. It's weird.
The drop rate's not that low. I think the drop
It's
rate.
only like 1 out of 300. Or
Yeah.
something like that. And I'm at over 600 permits now.
Yeah,
It's really weird.
So like as a comparison, they have fairly similar drop rates. Actually, I think they are slightly better drop rates at Temporos, but those you can use literally everywhere forever, and
Yeah.
you can even combine them into better items later on. Being with the barrel, you can turn into the barrel cape.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, but well, I mean, no one does that because you have to go to Mulk Island, and no one plays that content.
I mean, it
but,
probably looks cool.
it does look cool, and it's a cape slot, so you don't have to, use any inventory for it. But again, no one actually uses it. But
I would if I had one.
I doubt it. Have you ever done fly fishing?
I don't know.
Okay.
I want the big fish.
Yeah, that sucks. Good luck.
I want the big fish.
Good luck with that grind. But yeah, so everyone's like, they were talking about how it's like the drop chance is weird, and then it kind of rolls into a conversation about why do they even have polls, because like they kind of either disregard them or skew them in a way that it just ends up getting the result that they wanted anyways.
Yeah, you should have just said what you wanted and done it.
Yeah, kind of like, yeah, exactly how the skill thing worked out. They're all like, oh, we actually don't want to try and do any skills and add them into
then you
this.
shouldn't have gotten our hopes up. You should have just not said anything. Even like, this is gonna be combat only.
Yeah,
That's all you gotta do.
I mean,
Dayo, she says.
and it's easy for them to say like, oh, thematically it doesn't fit in with the prayer book, but it's like you could have made them thematically fit in.
I
Like
agree.
it's not an impossible thing.
We were talking about it on stream last week, and Wraith pointed out like kind of the same thing, that he also doesn't think that they fit with the book, but he's also like, why did you have them vote on it?
Yeah.
They had us vote on it, and we're like, yeah, we're getting skills, and they're like, psych, no, you're not.
Yeah, that'd be like
Like,
going.
you should just not done anything.
That'd be like on the ride home. Your parents are like, all right, do you guys want, cake or cookies? You get home, you all voted for cake. There's no cake and there's no cookies. There's actually just like,
Cupcakes.
yeah,
I'm trying to think of something.
Yeah, cupcakes from the other day. Like just
Sometimes
like,
your little comparisons, it takes me a while to get there. I'm
Yeah.
like, where's he going with this?
it's just like something completely else that no one voted on.
Cupcakes were a little too close, to be fair. Brownies.
Yeah, like no one wanted this, or no one specifically asked for this, but you just like gave
It's
it to
just
them
there.
anyways. Like it's just so weird.
I love your comparisons.
It's so odd. Like I don't know why they would do that. That'd
Yeah.
be like so messed up.
We voted for cake and they gave us brownies.
Like they don't even give you the secondary thing, which is just like, giving you a revote on it or something like that. But they're just
Because
like,
they know that they can't come up with any.
yeah, they're all
Which
like,
is like, why'd you even
"Actually,
pretend?"
Never mind. It's like what?
It's annoying.
So crazy.
Yeah. Also, after all this talking about Garden Surf, I'd like to say it's still my favorite minigame.
Yeah. Also,
But the
a lot
drop
of
rates
people,
are annoying.
A lot of people are having like, or I've seen more posts pop up about like people getting frustrated with Guardians of the Rift because there's been more and more bots.
Oh, why does that frustrate them? What are the bots doing?
Because you can like, obviously you can AFK bot the like the rune, like mining the dead remains.
Oh, yeah.
You can AFK bot mine that forever. Obviously, it doesn't
Oh,
ever.
so you could just lose the rounds because no one's doing stuff?
Yeah, it doesn't ever run out,
Yikes.
and it doesn't. It stacks, so you don't ever have to bank, and it just resets every once in a while. So you could just leave a bot there and mine 24/7.
Yeah. And
And-
sometimes the games will probably fail because of that, and people have to start over.
Not only do the games fail, but less people, legitimate people, get to play in the Guardians of the Rift.
Oh, there's a
worlds
cap to how many people
because
can
there's
enter.
a cap. It's not like Wintertop.
Oh, that's frustrating. Yeah.
Like in Wintertop, that doesn't matter so much because sure, you can AFK sit there and woodcut. Well, it's not stackable, so it's not nearly as good. But also, there's unlimited players per world.
Yeah.
So
Do you remember whenever Garden Surf first came out and the
it
limit
was 100 instead of 200?
It was less. It was 50 at first.
It was 50.
It was 50 to 60, something like that.
Yeah.
But I remember they were like, within the 2 weeks after, they're like, yeah, so we've quadrupled that amount.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm like, you made a really fun minigame. What'd you expect?
Yeah, so I've seen a lot more posts about that recently. About
Well, that's
how,
frustrating.
Yeah, and also like why is there a limit? It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. Like
Maybe it's like a...
balance your game correctly. I don't know.
But anyway,
Anyways,
shall we move on to the bounty hunter rewards?
we shall move on to the bounty hunter rewards.
All right, so moving on. Bounty Hunter rewards.
So for the Bounty Hunter rewards, this
Wait,
blog
what
post...
rewards are these for?
All right, this blog post came out on the
You're supposed
10th,
to say moving
so
on
it's been
too.
quite a while, almost a week since this was released. I actually didn't really see this whenever it came out. It kind of snuck by me.
I know. Robert thought it was just the update, and he saw it. He was like, what is this?
Yeah, either way, this is the update for everyone wondering about Bounty Hunter. Obviously, we talked about this, I think, even last week, and it's actually pretty cool. They're planning on bringing it back, and there's going to be a lot of really cool rewards, and this is pretty much all about just the rewards.
Cool.
Not about any of the balancing or anything like that.
Thank God, because remap balancing, I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it every time.
Yeah.
Why do we do this podcast? Because I hate reading.
It's not the best.
Rebalancing.
It's not the best. Yeah. Anyways, though, they go on to say that in an ideal scenario, we'd like to use a green light poll for all of these rewards. However, with the volume of projects we're juggling at the moment, and they go on to list Desert Treasure 2 with the Ruinous Powers, Forestry, and in the very near future, a poll dedicated to a new skill. So with that being said, the polling system is in constant use, and we don't have a good window to poll these and deliver Bounty Hunter with a full complement of rewards on time. That being said, the survey we included in our initial Bounty Hunter blog, alongside the feedback we received, gave us a very clear indication that we're heading in the right direction here. And we're confident that these rewards, being tailored toward PvP, to be obtained from and used in a PvP minigame with a handful of cosmetics for items heavily associated with PvP will resonate with many of you. So it's kind of funny. Those two paragraphs make it seem like I didn't do this on purpose. I picked a random paragraph, but it kind of seems like they're just not going to use the voting system for this.
They're not. They just want you to answer in their survey.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Kind of funny. I did not plan this, I promise, but also really...
I don't even know if Robert read this yet.
Yeah, really, really weird that we were just talking about like their random abuse or neglect of the voting system.
This is what they should have done for the prayer book.
And then
for the skilling thing.
And then for this, they're all like, yeah, I mean, everything we've seen, you guys are going to like this 100%. So we're just not going to pull it.
Honestly, people wouldn't like it, to be fair, but I'm not mad about it.
I don't
yeah, just do it.
I don't really care because if I'm being honest, I'm not going to do this content, but
I'll maybe try it. I do like some of the cosmetics though.
But I do think the cosmetics look cool, so I'm glad they are keeping it in. But either way, yeah, it's
like the PvP cosmetics. We could have had so much cool stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. People just didn't want it to be tied to a PvP minigame, which is exactly what they're doing here.
Ay. Well, where else? They have to put it somewhere.
Yeah. People don't like cosmetics being tied to PvP because obviously they don't want to have to do PvP to get cosmetics.
Well, I'm not an iron, so I'll just buy it at the GE.
Yeah. Or yeah, hopefully they'll be tradable. Of course, all these rewards would be placed into a beta and locked in at a later date. So none of these rewards will be entering OSRS before you have a chance to vote on them. So there you go.
Yeah. So starting out with the Ancient Warriors equipment for Zerosian Warriors. Zerosian Warriors, whose names alone are enough to strike fear into anybody who's heard whispers of their deeds. They're long gone, but their legacy lives on in the powerful gear they left behind. I want to say the gear looks a little dorky.
Honestly, the gear to me looks like slightly more spiced up Barrow's gear.
I could see that.
Which is kind of lame.
I like one. One's a staff that looks pretty cool. But the others, like the colors on it, just look very dull to me.
Yeah, so they have a picture and it's Morrigan, Zuriel, Vesta, and Stadius.
Yes. Those of you who played since 2008's release of PvP Worlds or played during certain Deadman mode seasons or partake in Last Man Standing these days will likely have some kind of familiarity with these infamous offerings. Those out of the loop, Ancient Warriors equipment are tier 78 armors and weapons aiming to pack a mean punch in PvP. If you'd like to see the stats, you can go back and check out a OSRS wiki page that provide it. I am not going to be going over their stats.
No. Just be known that Stadius's Warhammer and Vesta's Longsword are all all of them are very good, but those are probably the two most recognizable. They're just really, really, really good items.
Stadius's longsword sounds like a euphemism.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess
Your
so.
voice cracked because you realized.
I mean,
okay.
That's not even an item, but yeah.
Wait, what was it? Who has the longsword? I've already forgotten.
Vesta.
Vesta's longsword. There we go. So what they are looking to hear from you is whether we should spend some time looking over the stats of the ancient warrior equipment to be best in slot gear for use only PvP, or whether their identity is better suited to being almost best in slot but significantly cheaper to use than things like Torva, Missouri Fortified, Inquisitor, and Ancestral, making them a little more accessible and giving you the chance to experience the raw power of this ages-old armory. I cannot imagine this kind of like dull-looking equipment being best in slot anywhere.
Yeah.
It's so beige.
It's not.
Oh my god, it's the Arizona of armor.
Yeah, it doesn't look very exciting. It's really all tan and gray and like clay colors.
The first one reminds me of the Prospector's outfit.
It does look a lot like
weird, but
Prospector's
it's
outfits.
armor.
Yeah, it doesn't look very good.
One staff looks cool because it has blue on it. I like that now we're going more towards like stuff with like color in it.
Yeah.
Like the Missouri's like kind of colorful.
Yeah.
I prefer that.
Yeah, it's definitely the looks are leaving a lot to be desired. So.
Yeah. Throughout the years and across iterations, Ancient Warriors equipment have seen a handful of approaches to things like tradability, degradation, and death behavior. On our survey, we asked how you'd feel about charging these offerings with large quantities of gold, with a gold lost to whoever killed you, similar to how Vesta's Blighted Longsword works on target worlds. You responded actually overwhelmingly positive to the suggestion, so we'd like to propose that these offerings would be untradeable, permanent unlocks that require a big chunk of coins to be usable in PvP combat. To get another temperature check on how you feel about this approach, we've included a question on this in the survey. Next up, let's talk about corruption. Each piece of the Ancient Warriors equipment has a corrupt tier 20 variant, packing a punch far beyond anything else in the same bracket. These corrupt alternatives also proved popular among our survey respondents, many of whom were excited at the prospect of firing a purpose-built 20 defense account to get stuck in the bounty hunter. We'd love to offer these up for all of you. Variety is the spice of life after all, and we'd love to see some expanded build diversity within the bounty hunter crater. We envision the tier 20 corrupt weapons hitting significantly harder than the mighty mithril weaponry you might expect to see, but if given a gold to recharge system would result in you risking much more of your wealth to capitalize on their power. For their tier 20 armors, we'd like to see them sit on par defensively with more typical offerings at this level. So what even is level 20? Like mithril?
Yeah, mithril. It's all mithril stuff.
But have additional offensive capabilities to lean in some of the high roller glass cannon fantasy. That's enough on these dusty old antiques for now, and let's talk about the most popular of the previous suggestions.
So rolling right into the Bounty Hunter exclusive weapon imbues. So these are going to be, part of the initial pitch is these were simple enough. They're going to be imbues for iconic weapons that are usable only within the Bounty Hunter worlds. To help them keep up with their modern counterparts, with the aim of seeing a wider spread of weaponry in use so that on days where you just feel like using a dragon longsword, you can. So
you love when PvP has different rules and stuff than in regular worlds, right?
Yeah, that was a sick joke. But yeah, I mean, it's already a mess, so I don't think this really matters. We likely wouldn't be looking to displace staples like the Dragon Dagger, but instead offering you a little more choice when gearing up and picking your weapon of choice down in the crater. This could be in the form of tweaking accuracy, strength bonuses, or even multipliers on special attacks, or any number of weapons. We'd absolutely love to explore these to throw some variety into the mix, and have some imbues exclusive to Bounty Hunter. It means we all get to have a whole lot more fun without worrying about adversely impacting the wider game. Perhaps if some of these imbues prove particularly popular when we're able to pull adding them to the wider game, but that would be a question for the future. So it kind of just seems like they want you to like go in at a low level and absolutely demolish each other in the crater.
I mean, that'd be kind of fun, to be fair.
Yeah, that really does seem like what they want, because in combination with the previous stuff, saying that they're going to add their Morgan, Zuriel, Vesta, and Stadius stuff, also offering it at a lower tier at level 20, really does make it seem like they want you to have really powerful stuff at a low level, which is going to offer up some really weird, interesting builds. And on top of that, obviously, if you're able to, like, I don't know how, but if you're able to imbue stuff like the bolt from MM2, what's the name of it? The heavy ballista.
Oh, that's from MM2?
Yeah, so if you're able to get the
never had
ballista
one.
from MM2,
I think.
that'd be cool if you can get it early, because obviously that's a pretty late unlock. But if you're able to get that early, that would be pretty cool. and then you can like use that in low level PvP. But either way, it just seems like they want you to absolutely demolish each other
Yeah.
at low levels. Obviously, this stuff would be probably high level if you're going to be using a dark bow or a heavy ballista or the anchor. Then there's probably a good chance you're a higher level. But I guess that might be offerings for them. But I think that'd be cool to have them at lower level as well. Either way, it just seems like whenever you go into the crater, they really want you to just like crush each other with like overwhelming offensive capabilities.
Which I'm excited to see.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems like it'd be like more fun. So
Yeah, and you don't have to be as high level, which is nice.
yeah, so that makes it so there's a lower barrier to entry, which could be cool for newer players getting into it. But also, I mean, maybe make it even more intimidating because it's just easier to get specced out as soon as you walk into the crater.
That's very true.
But
We'll
I don't
see
know.
how that goes.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how it's going to work. Either way, they continue on saying, alongside some of the items we're looking at, we'd love to hear from all of you about weapons you think would be perfect candidates for adjustments like this, as well as how you'd like to see them adjusted. Perhaps you'd like more accurate Dragon Dagger specs, a harder hitting Dragon Mace, a higher Dragon Bow damage cap, a louder Armadillo crossbow special attack. Let us know.
God, I hate it so much.
It is honestly the worst special
It's
attack.
so loud. I hate it. It's just like someone screaming in your ear.
At least it's not a good spec, so you don't really have to hear it
I
because
would
you're
always use it.
probably just going to use a different spec.
Thank God I don't use the Armadillo anymore.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's so loud.
While there's always room for more and we remain open to suggestions, we got our sights on a few beta candidates at the moment. The Dark Bow, Dragon Mace, Dragon Longsword, Heavy Ballista, and the mighty Barrel Chest Anchor. Of course, all staples in PvP already, except for the Dragon items. Adjustments we can make range from tweaks to accuracy to improve consistency, strength bonuses for some spicier KOs, special attack costs for more combo variety, or even special attack mechanics like adjusting how damage is rolled or how quickly you could attack after using one. So you can hopefully more easily stack people out.
Hopefully, or unfortunately, depending which side of this fight you're on.
Yeah, of course. If you'd like us to develop some of these for use in an upcoming beta, we'll be able to lock in specific weapons in a future poll before they make their way to Bounty Hunter proper. There's not really much more to say on this. Get in touch with your suggestions, and hopefully we'll have a chance to work on some of the items and relive the nostalgia of whacking your opponents with a huge Dragon Longsword spec, or maybe even louder Armadillo crossbow.
Oh, God, stop mentioning it. It scares me that they're gonna do it.
Yeah, so if everyone actually gets to look forward to this, like we said, they aren't polling any of this.
Yeah, reminder, if you have feedback, you need to put on the survey.
Yeah, so they are not polling any of this, so they are going to be adding this Morgan, Zuriel, Vesta, and Stadius armor, as well as
Into the beta,
as well as the tier 20 variants of these armors and weapons, I'm assuming. And also going to be adding the weapon imbues that are going to be exclusive to Bounty Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these are going to be added to the beta, and you can check them out, try them out, and let the mods know if they suck or not.
Moving on to combat XP and minus XP lamps. Similar to the above, this one's pretty easy to wrap our heads around. So you get assigned a target, hunt your bounty, get points, spend them on combat XP. Something we forgot to mention in the last blog, but spoke about during the Winter Summit, was we'd like to block combat XP within the crater so that you don't instantly risk ruining or slowly invalidating your chosen build. To compensate, we'd like for you to be able to stock up on points to spend on leveling up, similar to Soul Wars or Pest Control. I think that's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I agree.
For those looking to get started in Bounty Hunter, it's possible to spin up a basic build pretty quickly, and they do actually have a video from Pip before, so if you want to go get some Bounty Hunter tips. What this would allow you to do is get started with a basic build and stock up XP, so that whenever you feel like taking the next step, for example, jumping from 50 to 75 attack, you'd be able to do so at the click of a button, assuming you'd been diligent in your bounty hunters. And your bounty hunting.
Yeah.
And have the points saved.
That'd be pretty cool. I think people more often would probably just make a new account for that, but if to have the option, I think is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Ultimately, this would mean that getting stuck into some PvP action would allow you to progress to some future goals rather than feeling like you're putting your account on hold while fighting it out in the crater. I think that's smart.
I think it's really cool that they're going to freeze the XP.
Yes, I agree.
Because that's actually something that they that you can do in World of Warcraft. I think it's a really cool option. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I didn't invent this term, but this is the term. But if for some reason you want to keep your character at like level 19 in World of Warcraft, which is like a very popular
Build.
point to stop playing, it'd be called twinking your character, and yeah, that's just what it's called. So um, yeah, so usually if like you are in PvP as a normal player and you see a level 19 twink, you're probably dead because they're just so much more powerful than you. But it's cool because by doing that and locking your account, then you can't get to higher than level 19 because as soon as you get to level 20, you are worthless.
You're worthless,
Yeah,
Jesus.
which is kind of like, I mean, not nearly the same here, but I mean, your character would be worse if let's say you're a 50 pure and then you get up to like 55 just by doing
True.
PvP. It just your character gets worse.
People love their specific account builds.
Yeah, so I think that's cool that they're adding something like that so you can be more specific if you're just not into PvP.
Moving on to the minus XP lamps. So at this stage, we're confident that's possible for us to offer the minus XP as a reward, but we need to kick off the conversation with all of us. Something we'd like to clear up pretty immediately is that there would absolutely be some kind of limitation on the number of XP you could shave off using these. Saw some concerns of people progressing their accounts, making use of high stats, and then using minus XP lamps to remove tens of thousands of experience. This absolutely would not be the case. Most often, when we see players asking about these, it's to revisit accounts they've abandoned following a costly misclick. These are exactly the players we'd love to be able to get excited about the game again, giving them the opportunity to wind back the clock by a small amount of XP and get stuck back into PvP. This, again, also, it's not going to be in the survey, or it's not going to be in a poll, rather. This is going to be in the survey, so let them know what you guys think about the balancing limitations of minus XP.
I think this is a cool idea, but I think it kind of, I mean, obviously I don't know the entirety of it, but it does seem kind of lame that you can't use this in the same way that you'd use experience gains for like the other way around.
So
Like
seemingly
obviously,
they're going to be much smaller amounts.
yeah, it's gonna be I think like 500 is what they said, or
Yeah.
or like 100. But either way, yeah, like going from 50 to 75 is a cool idea, but why is going from 75 to 50 not a cool idea?
Yeah,
I don't
I don't really
understand.
get why it matters.
Yeah, because like maybe you do go from 50 to 75 and you're like, all right, this was cool, but I was ignorant back then and I really liked 50. So now I'm going to have to remake an account just to go
I
back.
thought it was funny. The concerns there, like people are worried that you're going to level up and then level down, and I'm like, why is that a concern?
Yeah, I feel like that's
cares?
the main purpose.
Yeah, it seems like you just have more freedom in it, but I mean, some people don't like it.
Also, it's funny because this seems like a good option for people that want to, like they said, go back on a misclick or something like that. But I think the people that would benefit, I don't know about the most, but a lot from this would be like skillers or pures. And like maybe they're not into PvP. So it's kind of funny that this is locked to PvP.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I mean, there's plenty of accounts that have been ruined that are defense pures, and they, like I said, like we've said in the past, like spec on attack or spec on strength, and then now that account is like low key ruined.
If this goes well, I could see them implementing it in the future in a skilling based minigame too.
Yeah,
like giving more
maybe.
options to get it, because it's kind of weird that you can only get from PvP.
Yeah, maybe also I'm ignorant. Let me know if there's like a good reason why you think they wouldn't want you to go back in XP that much.
Yeah, to us,
because like
I don't get it.
why couldn't you just buy negative 2 million XP? Like, what would that do to the account? It doesn't seem like it would matter.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it like affects the high scores or something, but to me, I'm just like, oh, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know.
Move your account as much as you want.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, let us know. The next thing and the last thing I think it is going to be the cosmetics.
Best part.
So hunting fellow players for rewards in violent Bloodsport is fun and all, but it is even more worth doing if you're not doing it in style.
If you're doing it in style.
But is it even worth doing if you're not doing it in style? That's what they meant to say.
We both got it wrong.
Yeah. Last time around, we suggested bloody kits to add a splash of color to some PvP
Jesus.
staples, but some players felt like it might be a little hard to distinguish these from their clean counterparts.
You just didn't have it dripping off of them.
And there are potential issues in some countries with displaying cosmetics like this. Yeah, I know this is actually...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know about other countries, but I know China, for example, is really, really big on certain things not appearing in their games. For example, bones.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like for example, any like zombie games and stuff like that release in China, you cannot have their bones showing.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
You cannot.
So you just can't have blood on it.
Yeah. I'm guessing obviously there's other countries that are similar like that.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we have something else in mind. We dug through some of our old art and found some old concepts and models for corrupt dragon cosmetics.
I actually like them.
So they have some pictures of really early dragon aesthetic designs, and they're pretty much all black and
With like
red.
red highlights.
Yeah, with the primary being black and gray and the highlights being red.
Mm-hmm.
But they also have some like full get ups and stuff like that. So if you want to see what all the armor looks like combined, it looks like dragon chainmail with the dragon med. But again, it is all black.
The chainmail with the legs looks actually kind of cool.
Yeah, the pants, they also have a chain skirt. And so for anyone that likes that aesthetic, the more black, kind of like dark guard, but with red as like trim aesthetic.
It kind of reminds me of like the Firewatch Sentinels.
It does look like the
vibes.
Firewatch Sentinels.
Very black and red.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they'll adjust it a little bit.
They go on to say above are some old concepts and some in-game models. Like we said, you can check them out. Instead, we like this color scheme and concept to form the basics of a set of cosmetics you'd be able to earn yourself by participating in Bounty Hunter. Meaning this style of cosmetic wouldn't be limited to just dragon equipment and could be extended to other staples like the fighter's torso, berserker's helmet, dragonhide chaps. The world and dev time is our oyster.
I would love the fire torso because it's so ugly.
Yeah, it is very ugly.
It looks like one of those fake six-packs that people wear like on Halloween.
It also looks really out of place compared to everything else
I
that
agree.
you would normally wear.
They need to spice it up a little.
Yeah. On top of this more general theme, we'd like to resurface some of the untradeable ornament kits we proposed as rewards from the Emir's Arena,
Like I was just talking about.
specifically focusing on the kits intended for items whose primary use is in PvP. So we'd like to gauge your thoughts on adding ornament kits for the following items: D-Claws, Elder Chaos Robes, Heavy Ballista, as well as the Elder Maw.
I like the D-Claws because they're black and it looks cool.
Yeah, all of these, again, are really big staples, so you should know what they look like. But either way, they do look cooler. They made it so the Elder Maw looks like it's part of the Bando set.
It looks cool.
They made the Elder Chaos Robes as well as the Dragon Claws all match a black and red theme. And they made the Heavy Ballista look a little less red.
Kind of reminds me of Armadillo Crossbow, but big.
Yeah. You can also take a look at these pictures on the news post.
Yeah, we're not the best at describing these clearly.
Yeah, they do go on to say that we'll ask about all these individually in the survey while keeping an eye on your feedback.
Remember, no poll for this beta, guys.
Yeah, no poll. You do just check out the survey, and that's the best they can do. If it looks like there is particularly strong opposition, then we're sure we can find something else to excite the fashionistas among you. Again, I don't know how this is going to go. I mean, they failed specifically because people don't like things being tied to PvP minigames, but this is still a PvP minigame.
Bounty Hunter is more popular than PvP Arena was, though, to be fair.
Well, I mean, not really if you consider all of the death matches that are still happening. But yeah, I guess now, considering there's no money in it, you're right. There's not exactly much new here since the last time. We're hoping this kicks off discussion focused primarily on the rewards rather than the bounty hunter mechanics. We'd really appreciate it if you could take a moment to fill out the survey, and they have a link to it there. You can check it out, and we will have this linked in the description of the YouTube if that's where you like to watch this. But yeah, that is going to be it for the rewards. This is all based just on rewards, not mechanics or anything like that. So, yeah, just so keep that in mind.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah,
I mostly just like cosmetics because I always love cosmetics.
Yeah, overall it seems pretty cool. I like I like a lot of the different rewards. I do think the Vesta stuff does look pretty lame.
Yeah, they need to.
It's pretty lackluster.
It just looks very old.
It does look very old.
I could see them like making it look cooler for sure, though.
Yeah, I just straight up don't think they look good. But
they just look like just old, man.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. They look like
I think those are old pictures.
They look like really low level items.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
And that one looking like prospectors, I can't get over it.
Yeah, they look like you straight up just got this at level 40 and then you're gonna swap them out at level 50.
Yeah, which is fine because they're gonna smack people super hard.
Yeah, really funny. Either way, we have the last thing, which is going to be Jagex accounts.
The closed beta expansion. In January, we launched the closed beta for Jagex accounts, which brings with it improved account security. Still not case sensitive, as far as I know. Initially, we limited the beta to player moderators as part of our invite-only phased release approach, but we're now ready to extend the invite to more players. Today's expansion will see a select number of players invite to the beta, and once we're happy with how the expansion is going, we'll continue inviting more and more of you until it's rolled out to everybody. Invited players will receive an email titled "Your character's name, Jagex accounts are here," and an inbox message titled Jagex Accounts Closed Beta Invite, which contains instructions for accessing the beta. They do not go over what this whole beta is about. They actually talked about this before, and they link to the original Jagex account page, which we also spoke about like probably a month ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
So you go check out the blog post if you want to read more about that. Account security is a major concern for players and a core focus for us.
This is such BS.
The current system has reached the end of the road as our security solution. The new Jagex account system will let us provide you with increased security, stability, and sustainability using modern industry standard technology. We'll be able to keep bringing you more OS for years to come without you worrying that your hard-earned stats and equipment will fall into the hands of hackers. Didn't sound like the top skiller just get hacked this week.
Yeah, for anyone that hasn't been keeping up on it, literally this week, the rank 1 skiller with over 20,000 hours in their account, the only skiller in the game with 99 Slayer, just got their account hacked.
Account security, baby.
To be fair, apparently their password security wasn't really up to snuff. That being said, regardless,
I mean, it's still scary.
they still were able to have their account compromised fairly easily, from what I understand.
Yeah. Jagex accounts will use different multi-factor authenticator integration to current RuneScape accounts. When setting up MFA for your Jagex account, you'll be provided with 10 backup codes to use as your second factor if you lose access to your authenticator device. These codes will only be shown once, and you can only be used once each, so be sure to record them safely and securely. I don't actually like that, because what if you use all 10?
That's really common.
It is?
Well, not to use all 10, but that method is very common.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about it. To import a character to a Jagex account, you'll log into your character and enter the authenticator details as usual. Once the character has been imported, the MFA for the associated RuneScape account will no longer work. You'll need to use the MFA associated with your Jagex account. You can still play multiple characters at once and make progress simultaneously, assuming all these characters are linked to your Jagex account. So in short, the Jagex account and launcher is how we're going to provide you a strong, modern account security, as well as an easier way to log in and manage multiple characters.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about the launcher. I've been meaning to switch to it.
Yeah, I'm not going to switch to it until there's an actual reason to. I'm
kind of just lazy is my thing. I mean, I could, and it makes it like a one-click login. I'm just lazy.
They still haven't provided additional security.
It sounds like that's what they're working on, though.
That's what they're working on, but even if you were in the beta for the Jagex accounts, you don't get additional security, so there's really no point.
Okay.
It's really just if you would enjoy the one-click login and stuff like that and the managing of your accounts, but again, there's really no additional security, so kind of not super...
Not worthwhile to you?
Yeah, not worthwhile to me. Also, every time I think about this, honestly, it just gets under my skin how long and how neglected this system is. Like...
The security?
This security system has been used by Blizzard, World of Warcraft's Blizzard, for over a decade now.
Yikes.
Like, this is such an old system.
And we're just getting it.
Yeah, it's so crazy to me how neglected this system is. Like, they're like, this is one of our top priorities.
10 years later.
It's laughable if you actually believe that.
I just still don't get the caps thing. It's just so weird to me. That's not case sensitive.
Yeah, that is like the easiest regex thing to change in coding. I
think I even learned that. And whenever I wanted to be a web developer, very briefly, I think I learned how to make passwords case sensitive.
Yeah, you can tell. It's honestly weird. This is going to sound like I'm going to be dragging this company, but I kind of am, because this is honestly such a joke that they've taken so long and have just completely disregarded players security for so long. It's like, why don't you just put a team of security people and anti-botting people in your game, and it would last and be way better.
Yeah.
It's honestly a joke.
That's annoying. Anyways,
we have questions.
We do. Let's move on to our Q&A. Our first question is from Harger over on Discord. Oh, and also it was hilarious last week because Matt and Harger are friends, and they both asked us about a Grandmaster Quest idea.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, if this sounds random, it's not that random. They're friends in real life. So they coordinated it. They did not. They both just happened to ask those and didn't know that the other one was also asking.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. Their wavelengths are just exactly the same.
They're just mind readers.
Yeah, they are. This time they did actually agree to doing similar questions. They honestly probably would have, even if they didn't try. But Harger asked, what are your thoughts on my minigame idea? The Great Lumbridge Pentathlon. Players compete against other players in the Lumbridge Sporting Arena, a new coliseum found in the Lumbridge swamp area. The pentathlon. Yeah.
And you tell me.
Pentathlon involves 5 events: agility course, archery, target shooting, including both static and moving targets, tree speed chopping, players must chop down 5 trees as fast as possible, cake baking, the chef of Lumbridge rates the cake by speed of preparation and quality of cooking, and Slayer, players must slay a randomly generated high-level NPC with randomly generated weapons and armor. Players are scored each round on performance, and the highest score after 5 events wins. The pentathlon, I'm so saying this wrong, can involve 2 to 10 players. The players must join a common lobby and wager gold on the competition. In the lobby, all skills for all players are visible. The winner wins the entire pot. Other awards include the gold medal, a fashionscape amulet for players with 1,000 wins, and the chef's cookbook. A cookbook after 250 highest ranks in the cooking event, which increases healing of all cakes that you cook by 5 hit point per slice. Other skill-specific rewards can also exist.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Overall, I think it's kind of cool. I like overall, I think it's cool, but I think the main aspect that I like of it is that there's like a fairly regulated competition in the game that includes wagering.
I didn't like the wagering aspect, actually.
Okay.
But actually, no, people would love the wagering, huh?
Yeah,
Because,
of course.
yeah, it would just be like death matching, but more variety.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to be like, oh,
I'll bake a cake faster than you.
or like I'm bored and I'll bet you I can win this thing, 15 million GP.
Actually, this would be a lot of fun to do on stream with people.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to have like an actual competition that you could wager, because like before, obviously, I mean, this is going to be abused, right?
Of
So
course,
who
people
cares?
lose on purpose.
Yeah, so who cares? But
Pretending that everyone's super considerate and plays correctly.
no, like we just came off the security thing. They don't care about betting in the game. Death
Yeah.
matches still exist. Literally no one cares about abusing gold systems like that. So we'll just disregard the abuse because Jagex will as well. So I think with that being, disregarded, I think it'd just be a cool thing to be like, oh, I'll bet you that I could do this or do that,
Mm-hmm.
I think that basal concept is cool and should be in the game.
Yeah.
Because then again, you could tax it kind of like how the system was in the dueling arena, because that money was taxed.
In a weird comparison, it kind of reminds me of people like California making weed legal, because they're like, you're going to do it anyway. Might as well tax it.
Well, yeah, because if you look at it, like previously, sure, trillions of gold were being traded in the dueling arena, which is like obviously not good. But now trillions are being traded without a tax and with even more risk, because obviously there's no regulations in the trade.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I think that would make it, because a lot of people don't want to deathmatch or want to get into deathmatching or don't or can't because they're too scared of getting scammed, which is a common thing. But obviously, if it's regulated like this, then more people would want to get into it, and then you could tax and remove more money from the economy.
Yeah. I also think it's just, like, all that aside, I think that I like that the 5 events are just so different, too, because it's, like, a nice little skilling area to, I'm imagining it'd be, like, pretty low XP rates, but it'd be, like, a nice variety if you don't know what you want to do.
Yeah, or maybe it's just no XP. And also, like, making it so, like, each thing had, like, a skill aspect. Like, for archery, maybe it would be like a top-down thing, and you have to like predict where it's going to go. There's like flight time on the arrow, so there's a place you'd have to click for it to be accurate.
That'd be fun.
Like stuff like that, or like maybe there's weak points on the tree that you have to chop, and it like shows a different view of the tree. Then you could do that, and then so there's actually like some skill, because right now obviously archery is just you click and you shoot.
Yeah.
And cutting of trees, you just click and hopefully you get.
There has to be some more like parts to it.
Yeah.
Not just totally RNG.
Yeah. I mean, the last part would still be RNG. Obviously, a randomly generated thing with randomly generated armor. You could just get lucky and then you'd immediately win if it's like a close competition.
Mm-hmm.
But even if that was in there, I think the rest would be cool if they had like some skill aspects to them.
Yeah.
Either way, I think this would be a cool idea.
I think it's fun. I like the rewards to the gold medal. I can just like making your character look like a little Olympian would be cute.
Yeah, I couldn't really care less about that, but I do think
But it would be cute.
I think the chef's cookbook. I think the 5 HP per slice is a good idea.
Very good idea. Yeah, I didn't know where it was going at first when I read the chef's cookbook, and then I was like, oh, okay.
I think if it was cake and pie, that'd be cool.
Definitely pie.
Yeah,
people would take that everywhere
because that would actually make some stuff that's like not viable at all somewhat endgame viable.
Definitely. That'd be really good.
Yeah, because if you have a piece of food that heals for like 30, I don't know the exact number, but if
We
it's
don't
like,
eat pies here.
if you could heal for like technically like 32, well, 5 per slice, isn't there 4 slices per cake? Or is it
4.
3?
It might be. I don't know. I haven't used cake in so long.
Either way, even if it's 2, that's 10 additional health. If it's 3, that's 15, which is,
That'd be nice for like wintertime
that's
stuff.
getting into like its very own a food, but it's an addition.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have to carry around the cookbook, then it'd obviously be a little bit less worth it.
Yeah.
But
Maybe still worth.
yeah,
depending on
maybe
the situation.
maybe still worth. Like if you're eating pies, that's 2 pieces, right? So that's still an extra free 10 HP.
Yeah.
Kind of a big deal.
All right. So moving on to Matt's question. Matt also said, Harger and I laughed super hard when we didn't know that each of us did a quest idea. And now he's challenging me to do a mini game idea. So I'll make the better one because, to be honest, I liked his quest better. So, all right. I'm going to feel bad if I don't like Matt's as much now. Matt said, here goes minigame idea. The name would be X marks the spot. I swear. It's just like saying like clue scroll.
It's the quest.
It's the quest. So location, Port Sarum. Trapdoor which leads to an undercover pirate meeting room under the port. This serves as the lobby for the minigame. I do love this entrance idea. That's very cute. The minigame is only playable in PvP worlds, but the lobby can be accessed in a non-PvP world, allowing the player to safely enter and then switch worlds to PvP world. The lobby itself is also a safe zone. So the game. A pirate gives a scroll to the players and offers a gold reward for the player who finds it first. The scrolls are randomly generated to indicate a location where the treasure is buried on the OSRS map. Once the players receive the scroll, they can exit the lobby and race to the treasure. Because the game's in PvP worlds, players can kill each other on the race for the treasure. Once a player finds the treasure, they're automatically teleported back to the lobby and receive the monetary reward. This is to avoid players camping by the lobby entrance to kill the person returning the treasure, of course. So rewards would be a gold reward calculated as a percentage of the monetary value of all players in the game's lobby inventory and equipment added together. Leaderboards on the high scores. A unique pirate costume as Fashionscape awards. And a pirate parrot pet after a certain number of wins. I kind of like that. I think it's cute. I don't know if I'd be kind of nervous about trying it because it's in a PvP world, but it kind of reminded me of actually of like some Gilmore Games episodes where they're trying to like race and do stuff, but they could all snare each other at the same time.
Yeah.
I think that part's kind of cool.
I think it's cool, but I also think I think they need to make it incentivized to do something else because I think at the end of the day this would just be Hunger Games.
Maybe that's why I like it.
Yeah, which is kind of like LMS.
True, but I'm imagining running around the map and you have a goal of where you're trying to go. You're not trying to kill each other. You're trying to get to the goal.
Yeah, I get that, but like, what if it's just easier to just kill everyone?
True. They'd have to have some reason for you to want to try and get the gold.
Yeah, or it would be like
I mean, obviously you'd still want a PvP, but
I think it'd be too much like a battle royale style where like you're just gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna wait for those 4 guys to fight each other. I'm gonna swoop in, kill the last guy, and then get the stuff before anyone else shows up.
True.
Which I guess is a strategy, but I feel like would be too prevalent of a strategy.
You think so?
Well, I mean, like most of the time, it's like, why wouldn't you just kill people?
It's funny because to me, I'm just thinking like go on the outskirts, try to just run and get it and avoid people as much as I can. That'd be my strategy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it also would depend on like what gear you're allowed to bring. Like if you're allowed to bring freezes, then yeah, I think PvP would by far.
I'm imagining. They didn't say anything about gear, so I'm imagining like no gear. Like you just bring like a sword. You kick each other.
Yeah, I was like, how?
Okay, maybe a little bit of gear.
I was like, what? What?
Maybe like you could snare people.
Yeah, I mean,
because that's only for a couple seconds.
Yeah, maybe you could ensnare people. I'm not sure exactly, but I think this would be cool. But I think it would definitely need some tweaking with the incentives.
Yeah, what would you want the incentives to be?
Well, I mean, GP's fine, but
it's fine.
I mean, it's just a little less inspired.
No way you're being so critical, Matt.
It says
it's not very inspired.
A pirate gives you a scroll to the players and offers a gold reward for the players who find it first. I think it would be cool if not everyone was going after the same thing, maybe, because then you would just pass by people that are looking for their thing.
Maybe everyone has their own thing, but they're all very close to each other.
Oh, you know what'd be cool is maybe everyone has their own thing. They're on like the same like island, and they would pass by each other. But if you ended up PvPing and killing them, you could take their treasure map and then find their treasure.
That's good. So then there's a reason to just try and get your own only, just to take the bare minimum, and
Yeah,
a
or
reason to
you
go and kill
can,
others.
yeah, or you can risk it and then like,
Oh, I like that a lot.
and then, but maybe there would also be like something that would eventually either attack you or something like that, so that you couldn't just be like, I'm gonna kill everyone, take
I
my
would
time
say a
killing
timer.
everyone.
I'd say a timer.
Yeah,
You have to be back in 10 minutes.
yeah, because like we don't want you to just kill everyone,
And
take
just
all
be
their stuff,
camping
and
there.
then slowly like getting each of the items because
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
dead. There's nothing that can stop you.
Yeah, it could be a time limit. That kind of reminds me, actually, weirdly, of the maze in Below Ice Mountain after
Yeah.
that quest. That maze that you only have like a minute to go and get through and get as much as you can.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd say add a timer to it, and that'd be perfect.
I think that'd be cool. I think GP wouldn't be the best, obviously, because then Iron Man wouldn't really want to do it.
You'd have to add something that Irons would like as well.
Well, just
Combat.
other people. I think
Combat
like
XP lamps. Or
I
just
think-
XP lamps.
I think rewards similar to Soul Wars would be cool because Soul Wars chests are really expensive.
Yeah? I've never been to Soul Wars.
Well, I think each chest is on average like 15K or something like that.
That's decent.
But like I mean the loot pool more so, as in like it has pretty decent armor, pretty decent seeds, and some high level ammunition,
Nice.
which they all sell for decent GP and are valuable to Iron Man to some extent.
Yeah.
So I think something like that, like a point system, would be cool. Like if you find your own loot, you get 3 points. If you find someone else's loot, then you get 5 points because that's assuming you like took their stuff from them.
Yeah, I like the idea of being able to go snipe someone else's stuff.
Yeah, I think
you
that'd
have
be
to kill
cool.
them.
Because if everyone has one thing they're going after, again, I think it would just turn into a battle royale.
Either a battle royale or no one to attack anyone.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. It'd be unintended.
There needs to be a little bit of incentive to fight and a little bit of incentive to hide.
Yeah, I think the concept is cool. It's funny because
agree.
like I like the core concept of Hargers more, but I like the
Possibilities.
overall concept of Matt's more
Why are you pitting them against each other?
because they specifically wanted that.
I don't know which one I like more.
Yeah. Either way, I think
They're
I
both
think,
so different.
I think there's cool parts of both, but they both would need to be reworked a little bit.
Yes. All right. And our final question this week is by Wraith on Discord. What's a plugin you want added to RuneLight? I'd love something really dumb, like the ability to add custom sound effects that trigger with specific events. There's a plugin that will play a sound effect when you get purple from TOA. I'd love a plugin that played a bonk sound whenever I hit something with a DWH.
Yeah.
I'd love that. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, that'd be
I've
cool.
joked about getting my own sound effects as a plugin because I have a, what's it called? A reward on the stream where if you put a certain amount of our little Cappy coin things, I'll do Michelle sound effects for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just me shooting arrows like pew, pew, and using magic like whoosh. I'm really good at noises.
That's really cool.
It's cool because I try to come up with noises. Zabak's noise is rawr.
Oh,
So I'd want a sound effect so I can make monsters make whatever noises I want, and Zabak would just say rawr every time it growls.
yeah.
For myself though, I don't know. This might already be a plugin. But I kind of want something that like simplifies telling you how to get places the quickest. Because I spend a lot of time on the wiki, like for clue scrolls, I feel like mostly trying to figure out like where specific areas are. Or like specific NPCs. Like I know where they are, but I don't know the fastest way to get there. So maybe something that
Yeah.
you could just type and be like, oh, this NPC. And they'll be like, yeah, use this telly to that. And
Yeah.
just simplify it for you. Because I feel like I have to look that up quite a bit. And it's kind of annoying.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the craziest thing. I kind of like Race Idea more, but I wanted to come up with my own as well.
Yeah, so something I would want added to RuneLight would be, I think there's too much information on the wiki, and so because of that, I like want more stuff to be easily available
on
on the-
OSRs?
yeah, on the base client. So with that
Mhm.
being said, I think it'd be cool if there was a add-on or a plugin that whenever you like selected a thing you were gonna go do, like raids, or if you're gonna go do barrows, you could like select that you were gonna go do barrows, and then it would pop up a sidebar of what items and setups you should bring.
Yeah, I think you can look stuff. I think you can look stuff up on the wiki on the side, but I don't think it's like that. Like
No,
it doesn't take
yeah.
you straight to the strategy section.
I want it to be like combat setups would be the name of the plugin or something like that.
Oh, and it tells you what you should bring.
And then it could be like community
Source.
sourced or curated in such a way that it's like you click on combat setups and then you click on barrows and then there's like like you can go by like ratings, and so like the top 10 rated would be right there, and
Oh,
you'd be like, oh, I want the one that emphasizes ranged more because I'm focusing on range. And you click on it, and it would show you the setup that you'd want to bring,
that's really
as
good.
well as your inventory you'd want to
I
bring.
feel like that could potentially even already be a plugin. That just sounds like something that'd be in the game.
I mean, because if you think about
Like,
it,
very well could it be.
one of the main reasons you go to the wiki nowadays is to see what setups you want to bring
Oh, yeah.
for if you're gonna go kill monkeys for Zenites, you want to bring a very particular setup, and it's like you have to go to the wiki to check that out or look up a guide, and it's
That was
like,
like me whenever I did that, the bingo, and I was going all over, and I was like, don't even show me the wiki. Just take me on the strategy straight down to what gear to bring, please.
yeah, you could just go to the combat setups plugin, type in demonic, and it would just pop up, and you'd click it, and it would have like, oh, do you want to bring melee mage or melee ranged or whatever, and then you would select the option. It would pop up and be like, oh, you should bring this, and then it would have like a little note section at the bottom telling you why they're bringing that or what considerations you might want to make when bringing this
I
stuff.
like this a lot. That's a really good idea.
I mean, yeah, it just seems like it would bring it more into the game because, like, half the time you're in the game, you're actually just looking at the wiki. Especially
Yeah.
as a new player, it goes slowly lower and lower. But as a new player, you're spending like 80% of the time playing the game in the wiki, 20% actually in the game, and
Yeah.
it's just not a fun experience.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that like is not obvious in the game.
Yeah,
That's a good one. I like that. Someone make a plugin to that. Someone make a plugin of all of these. I still really like the sound effect one especially.
yeah, that'd be cool.
But yeah,
I think it'd be cool if the sound effect plugin you could just immediately record and then upload it to a database and it'd have it.
there'd be so many good videos of
Well,
people just making it say dumb stuff.
yeah, I think that'd be really cool. It'd be like you could just look up like bonk sounds, and it would just be like a list of like 100 people's different bonks.
Yeah, there's like bonk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my good one. I like this a lot. But yeah, that is it for our Q&A this week. That's actually for the episode this week, I guess.
Yes, for the whole thing. Hopefully
Yeah.
you all enjoyed it. Thanks for listening this time around. If you have any questions, you can hit us up at any of our social media, and especially our Discord. We have a channel just for questions.
So if you want to hit us up or follow our social media, our Twitter and TikTok are Bunebapeosrs. Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch are all Bunebape, and I stream 5 days a week at twitch.tv/Bunebape, except for the weeks when I'm not feeling well, in which case I stream 4 days a week. But yeah, come stop by, raid with me, tell us your plugin ideas, and let us know if you want to be on the Q&A.
Yep. So
Yeah.
thanks again for listening. Hopefully you all have a great day, and we'll see you all.
Very soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Meet
Meet
Merp.